Hi everyone. So myself Krish Shatirkan, very warm welcome to all. And this is the day one of Foundation AI series. And in this day we're talking about what is data and algorithm. So this is a very important topic, and you can say this is the basic foundation topic. So which create such a basic about the artificial intelligence. So while you're looking toward when you're moving forward the artificial intelligence, you should to know about this both topic about data and algorithm. So while you're looking toward this particular data and algorithm, such is very long and such as a very depth topic, but we can cover in shortly so you can understand much clearly. So overall agenda for today is like the first agenda we are going to talking about like data, and second is algorithm, and as we know we're taking a real world example at the end. So this real world example help you to understand what is the use cases of about data and algorithm, and how this both topic are connected in each other, and what they play an important role in this making their artificial intelligence such as in AI. So that's all about today. And if this particular video is going to productive for you, and if you learn something from there, then it's my pleasure. So let's get started. Hey, let's come to agenda number 1, and in this agenda we are going to discuss about data. So what is data, and what the use of the data. So let me look toward the differences between what is data. So what exactly data is. So let's come to about data. So when we're talking about data, so data is all about collection of information. So when you're looking toward data, so data is all about collection of information. So in either, so they have lots of forms. So you can take it like number, letter, image, and text. So all this particular thing is data. So in fact data is present in everywhere, so either in the form of, you can say, text, images, videos, anything else, in the form of you can say fact that you have just as get from the gossip. So it's all about data. So you can say around us we are surrounded by data. Anything like in your sitting around, so what are you, it's like you're sitting with a chair, so chair is also data. So data is all about, you can say, collection of information. So what you collect, so what the information, so it's all about information. So data is all about information. So data have a different form. So in fact the first form is like image, number, letter, image, text, video is in fact a data. So that is all data. And when you're looking toward the types of data, so data is basically broadly categorized in two types, like structured data and unstructured data. So while you're looking toward structured data is all about, you can say, a data which are present in such a clean way that can easy to read. And unstructured data is such a difficult to, you can say, read. So this is structured data is all about, you can say, can easy to read. Okay, and unstructured data is just very difficult to read out, and they have no any meaningful insights. And structured data have any meaningful insights. For example, I will take an example. Now suppose you have lots of information, okay, but images and text and videos, all these images and text, all these particular kinds of data are mixed in each other. So you cannot get such a meaningful insights from there. So it's all about data. So it's all about unstructured data, so that's not creating any meaningful insights. Okay, and structured data is all about like arrange all images and videos and text and all this stuff in such a way like you can easily accessible to finding relationship between all of them. So and create such a meaningful insights. So that's in structured data. So that's all about data, you can say. And data is broadly categorized in two parts, structure and structure part. So in short, if I want to explain you about the data, so data is all about, you can say, collection of information, and it is present in a different form like number, letter, image, text, and all this stuff. Okay, and structured data and unstructured data. So let me know, this is both, there were two types of the data, like structured data and unstructured data. So that's have such as broadly categorized in two part in such as in AI. So for uses of AI. So that's all about the agenda number 1, and we discussed it about what exactly data is. And if you want to take an example for data, like anything in gallery, like you have images, so that all is your data. Anything that you can listen, like music, that's is the data. So all things are data, like you have such a kinds of information. So either in a form of images, text, and video, all this stuff is your data. So that's all about data. And let's move toward the agenda number 2. Hey, let's come to agenda number 2. And in this agenda, we are talking about like what exactly algorithm. So algorithm, when you're talking about algorithm is all about like step to solving problem. So it's all about like designing process. So how can you design a process to find some output? For example, you can take in lots of example for understanding nowadays, like Google is the best example for search algorithm. So we'll look at the different types of algorithm, but first we need to understand what exactly algorithm is. So now suppose we deal with a lots of problem in our daily life, like either like, for example, we can take in a domestic problem, like you can say for making a tea. So for making a tea, we are looking for the first process is like getting the ingredients, collecting ingredients, and second process is like boiling this all ingredients that will, and third is like making a tea. So for taking these ingredients in a cup and all this process to getting output. So there were 3 processes to just looking into it. Like the first is like you can say collecting all ingredients and mixing it and just waiting for a boil. Okay, so there were 3 processes. Is just you can say in this particular process is you can say this is 3 process to getting a tea or coffee. So while looking toward it, this is called algorithm. So in fact, algorithm is all about process. Okay, so in our domestic life, we deal with algorithm to find out, like I take an example as a tea and coffee. So tea and coffee is all about, you can say we need to find out. Okay, so we need to just find out the tea and coffee. Just if you want tea and coffee, so we follow this particular process like 3 steps to get. So in the computer science also, we deal with algorithm. So in such way, like we need to find out what exactly tea to some output, some kinds of output. So that we need to design a process. So algorithm is step for solving problem, you can say, but in my language you can say designing a process. So algorithm is all about designing a process. Okay, so let's come to a process. Like algorithm is all about designing a process. So you can design a process to find out some output, in fact. And there were types of algorithm. Like first type is like search algorithm, sort algorithm, and optimization. It's one of the best example for algorithm. So I will explain you. There were 3 types of algorithm, and one fourth thing that I mentioned more thing, like this is a very important learning algorithm. So in fact, we discussed the 3. What is the sort algorithm? Sort algorithm is all about like we have huge amounts of data. Okay, in fact, if we have a huge amounts of data, so in this particular data, we just sort out by cleaning and just removing bad data and making this data such as useful. Okay, so that is a sort algorithm. Sort algorithm is all about converting a huge complex data in such a useful data, okay, that easy for use. Okay, so it's all about data. So data is all about like arranging data in such way like sequence order on by looking toward. This is sort algorithm. So sort algorithm is such a kind of designing a process. This is a process, okay, to such as doing just you can do by huge amounts of data in such a way you can use this particular data in arranging this particular thing. Okay, and so, and one more thing like search algorithm. So search algorithm, as a best example, Google search. Google search is based on search algorithm, and just looking it, and if you want to explain understand this particular search algorithm like Google search, like if you given a text or prompt into Google to search particular thing, this particular prompt is go to Google database and search out this particular similar things around us. Like if you search a dog, then they find the similar photos, videos related to dog in database. So that's all about search algorithm. So that is not process to find out something, you can say. So I think like this is one of the best accurate or the algorithm of the Google search is the best example for search algorithm. So search algorithm is also in your phone contact, where search your contact in all this stuff in your search algorithm. So the search algorithm is all about searching some kinds of the output. Okay, and second one is optimization. So optimization, you can say all about, you can say it's finding a best solution. Okay, algorithm is designed to find some best solution. For example, you given a mathematical problem, you have a different kinds of solution. Okay, but we can design some process such algorithm just to find out the best solution, which one is the best one and which is the best not. First best example is Google traffic. Google traffic is based on, so you can say optimization, optimized algorithm, you can say. And in this optimized algorithm, Google search is based, and Google search is all about Google traffic, you can say, sorry, Google traffic is all about like optimized algorithm. It find best traffic route out of different routes. Okay, so this is the best example for you can say Google traffic. So this is kinds of the algorithm. And last fourth one that I want to mention, but you should to know about this, is very important while you're looking toward artificial intelligence, like learning algorithm. So learning algorithm is all about like algorithm designed to learn something. Okay, I designed some process. Okay, you can design some process to learn a machine from the huge amounts of data from real world experiences. So that's all about you can say learning algorithm. And you can take an example like supervised learning and unsupervised learning. This is all the kinds of the part of learning algorithm. And this is a machine learning framework we discuss much further in this different in other video, but this is enough. And while you're looking toward the way to represent this algorithm, so while you're designing a process, you need to write huge amounts of this is huge code. Okay, huge lines of the code, but you can represent this particular code logic and all this algorithm process in some kinds of the graph and images and text and such way process. Okay, so there were two types of ways to represent this algorithm. It's all about like a flowchart and pseudocode. So pseudocode is all about a small written code, just explain the full logic of entire 100 lines of the code. So you can say 100 lines of code logic is just representing in such as few lines. Is what you can say this is a pseudocode. So pseudocode is all about representing 100 lines of the code in such a few lines of code. So that is a pseudocode. And one more thing like flowchart, and flowchart is important while you're looking such as graphical representation of your logic you want to solve. For example, you're designing a search algorithm to finding the similar Google search. So this logic you can explain this particular by using the graph, like a square, bracket, a square, circle, triangle, all this stuff. And each symbol have on its importance in this such particular flow, particular process. So you can say it's all about like flowchart. I will give you one such a you can a particular listen such a learn this particular screen. And this is all about like flowchart is all about, you can say, representing all this particular thing in such a way like you can manipulate it. Okay, so just designing the process by flowchart. So pseudocode is the best example also, and for two types of representation of the particular shape and way to represent. And that's all about algorithm. And algorithm in short, you need, if you doesn't know what actually algorithm is, best way to remember this particular in my language is like designing a process. To how can you design your process, okay, to solve some complex problem. So that's the algorithm. So in fact algorithm is all about designing process, like how can you design a process to solve your domestic problem, your international and national problem, all this stuff. So that's all about like algorithm. And let's move toward agenda number 3. Hey, let's come to agenda number 3. So this is agenda where we discuss about real world example, and I will try to just tie this both concept, data and algorithm, to understand this real world examples importance role, all about it. So let me go to discuss about like what is the data and algorithm such as playing important role in such as real world problems. So I will take a best example for understanding this real world example is all about like Google search. So Google search is all about, you can say, it's based on data and algorithms. Okay, so how actually it's work. So let me discuss about this is user who consult with the app for finding some dog and cat images. Okay, the user want to find some dog and cat image. Okay, so they directly consult with app and write a prompt as an input like cat or dog, anything else. Okay, and this app consult with algorithm. Okay, connected with algorithm. Algorithm, as we know about algorithm, is a process that find out something. Okay, so here search algorithm work and find some related data like dog and cat images and text and videos. Okay, like dog and cat. So that's all about data, and they find a similar data and just pushing toward it like input and such as related to dog and cat images, and they give a response according to. So it's all about the process, you can say. So this is a 3 process. Like algorithm is a process that find out related data. Data is a kind of information, okay, which is stored in databases of the Google search. And algorithm is designed in some kind of process. Okay, just find the related data to a dog and cat. So that's all about the process. Like so algorithm play an important role to finding a related data to dog and cat. and data is kinds of information, and they are from collection of information. So that's all about like Google searches work, and this is the best example for search algorithm. And I think like you will understand much better by taking a on example, by understanding this particular Google search example. Lots of example are based on algorithm, and even you cannot imagine your life without algorithm. So your domestic life and your surround us, we are surrounded us, and we're dealing with algorithm daily. We have some kinds of, we develop in some kind of process to solving a different problem. Okay, so that's all about algorithm. Okay, and we can't imagine, you can say just algorithm, computer science, and you can say artificial intelligence without algorithm. So algorithm is everywhere, and in artificial intelligence we deal with algorithm in different way. Like we have a different kinds of problem, and we need to develop a different kinds of algorithm. So here is not necessarily like sort, search and optimize and learning algorithm is enough, is in a part of algorithms. These are types of algorithm, and if we learned different, if we're dealing with a different kinds of problem, we are going to deal with a different kinds of algorithms. Okay, so that's all about algorithm, and algorithm is not on static in case, you can, it is changing according to the problem change. So that's all about problem change and algorithm change. Okay, and that's the particular understanding, that's particular real world example I take about Google search, and a best example I think, because nowadays we daily experience this particular problem, like this particular algorithm, this particular example, you can say. And I think you will understand this much clearly. And if this particular video is going to productive for you, again I say please like and subscribe, and for further more updates please press bell icon also. And that's our pleasure. And we move forward toward the artificial intelligence as much, making videos like lots of things like machine learning and all this important topic related to the making foundation. And then after we moving toward maths and coding also. And then after we move toward the real world problem, and we deal with different kinds of project and also. So okay, that's fine. And okay, so that's enough for today. And I will try to explain you in such way like you can understand much clearly, and I will give my best again, and next video also, and now also I try to give my best also. So that's enough for today, and we discuss much further into okay, another video about machine learning and all this stuff. And I try to create such a foundation layer about artificial intelligence in like next 5 to 6 video, and I will try to explain you. And this is day one of enough for understanding data and algorithm. Thanks for watching. Hey, let's come to agenda number 1. And in this agenda, we are talking about API and MCP. So this is the foundation tool. You should to know about it while you making a, when you are going to Mac on system, like you can say a app, or like AI app or agentic model. Just you should know about what is API and MCP. So today's this particular agenda is the main aim for agenda is like we could discuss about what exactly API and MCP. So that's fine. So what is API? So in my language, if I explain you, API stand for application programming interface. So application programming interface, and you can say it is a front layer of the application and database. So it's all about middleman between two person, okay, which carry information and receiving and all this stuff. So and it is act like a middleman between different piece of the software. So in my language, API is all about like communication between two different pieces of the software. So like you taking the best example for understanding this particular API, like your weather app. So weather app is just an application which consult with API, and we request some data. For example, user find out some weather information for particular location, so it consult with the API. So app consult with the API. So API is such a middleman between database, and API request to database for a particular certain information, and database send the a request to API, and API send request to the weather app. So it's all about API. So API, you can say API is all about act as a middle layer between a software, and such as different piece of the software, like weather app is an also software, and database is an also software. Okay, so there is such a communication between both of them is only possible by API. So API act as a middleman between both piece of the software. So while you understanding this particular API, so it is very helpful while you're making on system. Because of that, when you want to deal with such as any kinds of information, like while you're training your model, just you need a huge context of data, and huge context of data is broadly available in open source. And while you're training a model, you need to connect with this particular data source with the API, so your model can learn quickly. So that is a simple use cases, I think. And the most interesting part is like API is very helpful to transfer information and receiving information. So it is act as a middleman. And in short, my language about API. So API is all about communication between two different pieces of the software for a transaction, data transaction and receiving. Okay, so exchange of the data. So that's all about it. And thanks. Hey, let's come to MCP, and let me first understand what exactly MCP is. So MCP is all about, you can say, model context protocol. And in my language, again, in my language, MCP is all about, you can say, uh, set the limitation between the agentic model. So it's all about, like, I will get an exact definition of the MCP. So MCP have a very long definition if you understand this particular thing. But in short, if you want to know about what exactly MCP is, so MCP is all about boundaries between AI models. For example, let we come to understand what exactly MCP is. So MCP is all about, like, creating a boundary between the model. So for example, Gemini. So Gemini, what the feature that Gemini can access? So Gemini is all about, you can say, take information from the web and give you as a response and talk to you and just do a little bit of work like writing email and all this stuff. But the Gemini have a few limitation, and that limitation is all about MCP. So MCP is all about limitation. So Gemini have a few limitation. For example, they not access any random app. For example, you have a phone call app, and you have any official app, your office app, and any app like government app. So Gemini not able to access this particular app, and they inbuilt boundaries are built around this particular API, the particular you can say Gemini app. So Gemini is agentic model, and this model have a boundary. So that's boundary is MCP. So that your best example, you can say, is not access any random app. So Gemini is not going to access your any random app because of that the limitation. Okay, and other example, if you want to take it, like not make any chat with any WhatsApp, like any one person, like if anyone want to message just chat with you, and Gemini not randomly access your chat and just send a chat and receive chat and read your chat. So it is not possible with Gemini because of that the limitation around the Gemini restricted. Okay, one of the best example, and I think like this final one that's clear about MCP. So MCP is very important because of that this particular thing, like spy. Okay, so MCP protect agentic model from the spy for camera access and voice access, audio access and video access. Like Gemini is not able to access your audio and video without your own permission. Okay, so if you give a permission, that it's usually open your camera and such audio and video, all the stuff. But in fact this is not possible while you're looking toward their automation. Like Gemini cannot randomly open your any camera and video and access your all spying on you. So that the feature is important because of that while you're looking toward to making such an agentic model. So privacy protection, and you can say protecting from the unusual behavior problem model for agentic model. So we need to create such a boundary around this particular agentic model. So around Gemini, ChatGPT, nowadays any model are based on MCP. So MCP is all about you can say boundary line between any agentic model, which create a which restrict from particular work. So you can which restrict from the particular you can say access data, and you can say spying anyone else, and giving us sending information, anything else. So that's all about MCP, and MCP is very important while you're looking toward making a model, and while you're developing for the safety purpose. MCP is a very important right now. So that's okay, and let's move toward agenda number 3. Then we're talking about real world example about around your MCP and API. Because of that while you experience this real world example, you can understand much better. So I think like our best example is ChatGPT. So right now ChatGPT is the best example while you're looking toward the real world example, and while you're looking toward API and MCP. And this I will explain you like how the API and MCPs work on this particular ChatGPT. So basically around this ChatGPT, like you can say, we need to consult with while you giving a prompt to find out something else, while you writing a prompt, the particular you can say ChatGPT consult with a website, and in such way like they're searching information and from the website. So the communication between website and the ChatGPT act as a API. So API is an middle layer which are finding the information from this chat website and give to the ChatGPT, and ChatGPT give you the response. So that's how the API is used in MCP, and okay, API is used in particular ChatGPT. Okay, and where is the MCP used? MCP, as you know, MCP stand for the Model Context Protocol. It is all around. MCP is all about, as we know in my language, like boundaries, boundary line around the artificial intelligence, to restrict the artificial intelligence to use, to violate the privacy rule of the particular user. So for example, user have a personal information like spying data. So ChatGPT is not allowed to just access your camera and anything personal information, your context data. So it's all about like this particular you can say ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is all about MCP. So MCP in work in ChatGPT such like restricting from the accessing private data of a particular user. So that's all about MCP. So I think MCP is all about boundary line, as you know, and just man way for remember it. So that's hope so that's the best example I will explain you in particular understanding the MCP and API. And I tied this both concept for understanding this with one example to understand much better. So that's hope, and thanks for watching, and we continue with the particular learning journey, and this particular learning journey of artificial intelligence. And we make foundation first, and then after move toward the much important part, maths and coding, and then after we moving toward real world project. So that's fine, and hope so I will try to give my best in this particular series. And thanks for watching, and see you soon.